Alright, so this is part 3 of the loop videos I'm making, and I figured I'd show you a bit about the bike. This is the RC bike that I put together. Maybe I'll start from the front. It's a bit of a Frankenstein. The parts come from, well, all over the world. The whole front end, forks and front wheel and disc brakes came from a local bike shop that shut down this year. So I can no longer go there, but there's another one across town. On the handlebars, I have a Cycle Analyst. Now, normally the Cycle Analyst goes to your controller or with a 100 amp shunt max. Now, I'm running 100 amps sustained, so I put a bigger shunt right here and wired it in, calibrated for the bigger shunt. It's underneath tape right now, just so I don't shock myself, but big and beefy copper thing, running double gauge or double 10 gauge leads on this side here. I can show you. Also running a resistor on this guy on the 3rd Anderson. There's a small, just a random resistor I had in my pile. I plug my negative in and then my resistor, and it slowly charges up the capacitors in this black box and the controller. I'll get to that in a minute. Once it powers up, I connect my big leads. I prevent the spark that doesn't chew up all my connectors. And that's the Cycle Analyst and the power side. On to this next. The black box is from the Endless Sphere. Richard, one of the admins, and Gary Goodrum from TP Packs built these black boxes. Allows me to use a regular electric bike throttle with a brushless, sensorless Castle Creations controller. Otherwise I'd have to run like a wireless setup like they do on remote controls, and I don't want to do that for obvious reasons. Get to a red light, somebody fires up the CB radio, and you go head first in traffic. I put myself in enough danger as it is without doing that. So, throttle plugs into this black box. Black box connects to my HV controller down there. Brushless, sensorless controllers are pretty cool as far as the size they are. This is puny compared to what I have on my chopper, which is like 10 times the size. It doesn't do that great from a dead stop. I'm waiting for some Hall sensor type controller I can put onto my motors, but for now this has to do. And then we get to the drive, which is this right here, a Nastroflight 3210 brushless motor bolted to a 2-stage reduction drive made by Matt Schumacher from the Endless Sphere forum again. Goes by the name Recompense. Top job on there, by the way, Matt. What's going on here is the motor spins really fast at 48 volt, and the back wheel needs to be geared down to give you normal speed. So right here is a 4-to-1 reduction. For every 4 turns here, I get 1 turn up here, going to a shaft on the other side with a chain that goes to another 4-to-1, 5-to-1 roughly. 2nd stage reduction going right through here, back to a freewheel, which is an Eno freewheel. Normal freewheels tend to disintegrate the power we're pushing through here, so I went out and bought a good quality freewheel. Going to my front cranks, which have a freewheel built in, so the pedals can go backwards, but I can also pedal forward, so the motor can run without me pedaling, or I can also pedal and this will freewheel without forcing the motor to turn. Now obviously I don't pedal a whole lot on this guy. It's meant for speed, and it's a fun toy you'll see here in a minute. That front chainring goes to the back hub, and in a 20-inch rim I've got a new Vinci CVT. Now normally you'd have a derailleur with a bunch of gears. This is an all-in-one solution. You run a single speed to the back sprocket, and when I turn the controller on my handlebars up here, I can adjust from hilly terrain to flat land. Now this would normally be mounted on the right hand side of my handlebars, but because I got my throttle on this side, I want to be able to shift with my other hand. I'm going to put a mirror in front so that I can see the crawl orange bar thing when I'm sitting down. Bike's a bit weird. It's got a 20-inch wheel in the back, 24 in the front. Decent suspension forks. Disc brakes right now only on the front, but I do have a rotor on the back. Just got to install a caliper. I already have my brake lever up on the bars, but I need to run a cable and a caliper and some sort of adapter for the bigger rotor. And next thing that's on the way is LiPo, which I'm Alright, so what else can I say about this bike? Oh yes, the battery. Right now I'm running PSI cells, which are lithium iron phosphate, in a backpack, and connecting to my power leads here. Now I'm switching over to LiPo because the 10 amp hour PSI cells are good for up to 10C, but at 100 amps they get too hot and I don't get far enough range. So I'm going to fill this frame with LiPo. That's where this space here, which I was going to put the motor in here, but there's not enough clearance in the frame to run double chains or a single chain to the back. It was just impossible, so the motor had to go on the frame. I had already built the wheel at this point, so that's why I stayed with a 20-inch wheel in the back, and I went with a 24 in front to give me more clearance for my pedals, which are fairly close to the ground. They're all the way down, but still keep in mind that your feet have to be on the horizontal and you're fine. That's it, so I'm going to strap on the backpack, go for a ride, and see how long the loop takes.